Hello friends, Mandar here. I'm back with another video. Happy New Year to all of you. Today we'll talk about a special topic for students who are aspiring to come to United States to study and to settle. I have some advice for them. Based on the conditions we are seeing in the employment-based immigration space in the United States. I'll cover some immigration topics that are relevant and what we can expect in the year 2023, and I will also cover some tips for stock trading. So a lot of packed content. Watch this video until the end and let's get started. If you are here for the first time, welcome. My name is Mandar and I make immigration and lifestyle related videos for US and Canada. I'm not an immigration lawyer, so anything that I say on this video or on my channel is for information purpose only. And for your specific immigration needs, before you take any action, you should hire a competent immigration lawyer. Now, if you haven't seen my last video where I have announced the giveaway winner, do watch it and the topic and the contents in it. I recapped what happened in the last year and what we can expect in this new year in the immigration space. Also check out the links in the description for any products that you may like, and if you buy through those links, the channel will get a little bit of a commission. And while you are down there, please hit the like and subscribe button because that will help the channel a lot. Now hope you had a wonderful New Year's Eve and wonderful New Year Day. As usual, hope you have made some resolutions that you will stick to. I have made one personal resolution and I plan to stick to it. And if I am successful, I will disclose that what it is in my upcoming videos. Now the topic I wanted to cover in this video is some tips for students back in India who are aspiring to come to the United States. And for that matter, any backlog countries such as China, India, Philippines and so on. This applies to all. Now back at home, we go through our college and we go through our bachelor's degree, and everybody aspires to come to United States or some other country for doing their further education such as master's or doctorate, and there is nothing wrong with it. Most of us go through the IELTS and the GRE examination to get admission into the United States and topmost colleges and universities in the US. Now in doing so, we do score in IELTS and GRE and we get at the topmost universities. What happens then? Then you get selected in some of the tech companies or you may not get selected. Well, all that is fine and dandy. One thing that nobody talks to you when you are in India is the immigration situation in the United States. Almost nobody talks to you about it. Nobody walks you through the pitfalls and what are the risks and what is the wait time that you have here in the United States. Now I will just break it down to you, and this portion of the video is not to discourage anybody. Everybody is welcome to do their or pursue their dreams. This is only intended to give them some more information before they make a decision to come to United States versus go to some other countries like China, UK, Australia or New Zealand. So this is just one additional piece of information that you should consider, even your parents should consider when you make a decision to go to higher studies in the United States. Now first thing you want to know is, and almost everybody does, is picking a good university, because what that will make is that will attract the big companies, big tech companies, good technology companies, IT companies, fintech companies, startups to look for right candidates in the good universities, and you may land your first job easily. So that is why it is important to pick the right university. Now once you have done that, the second thing you want to think about is what is next, because a visa or I-20 is given for a duration, say 5 years. So that is the student visa that you have and you cannot work on it. So after 5 years you have exhausted, maybe you did a double degree or whatever the case may be, or a PhD. You have 1 year of OPT, and then based on if your interest or field is STEM, you get 2 more years of OPT. So in total you get 3 years of OPT. OPT is optional practical training, which is basically nothing but an EAD that you get, employment authorization. So you get 3 years of EAD. Now after that, EAD cannot be extended or OPT cannot be extended. So maximum you have is 3 years. And even if you do multiple degrees, they count your OPT period from the past and you only get the difference. So you have to be careful about just continuing to study just to stay in the United States. That will not qualify you necessarily for additional OPT period. Well, that's it. What's next? Next is you need to find an employer who can sponsor your H1 or L1 or any other visa, O1 or J1 or any other visa, non-immigrant visa that you can get. Now H1 is the most popular and most flexible for anybody who is graduating out of the United States universities, because there is a 20,000 additional visas for masters graduate from the United States universities, and remaining 65% is for open, anybody. But this is a lottery system, so the sooner you start applying for your H1B in the March lottery, the better, in the first year of your OPT, second and third, because you have 3 chances, consecutive chances, while you are in the US and while you are attempting to get your H1B. But what if you don't get your H1B? When that becomes a problem, then you have to bridge your visa into some other category visa, say O1, J1 or whatever else that you can do, or go back to F1 if you can do so. So there are a few other ways to stay in the United States. But my point here is, even if you land a good job, even if you get an H1B, most of the companies will qualify you for EB2 or EB3. All the tech companies, tech giants, or even all the startups and all, you will mostly qualify for EB2 and EB3. The self-petitioning EB1A and EB2 NIW are very hard to come by. You will need to have some patents and some papers presented and things like that to qualify for those visas, and that number is very small. The rest are all going to fall into EB2 or EB3. Now unfortunately, due to the backlog situation, the number of people coming into the United States from countries like India and China is huge. It's totally disproportionate to the number of green cards available in the employment based category for every year. So say for instance, you have only 140,000 employment based immigrant visas available, and then there is a 7% cap and so on. So at the most, India gets only, say, about, after spillover, you get about 20% of the 140,000 visas available. So only say 25,000 or 28,000 visas will be allocated to Indians every year. So imagine, but the inflow of people coming into the United States, such as students and on non-immigrant visas, is multiple times of that 25k. I would say about few 100,000 people come to United States every year. You do the math. There is an inflow of few 100,000 people coming into the country, but only 28 to 30,000 at the most in the employment based section get a green card. So that is hugely disproportionate. As a result, what happens is there is a huge backlog. Currently we are sitting at 2012 for EB2 and EB3 in the final action date chart, which is 10 years of wait. But you know, this wait has been for a long time. It is said that some people may never see a green card before they retire. So that is a piece of nugget that you need to consider before making a decision when you are back in India to come to the United States for studying. Can you qualify for EB1A? Can you qualify for EB2 NIW or things like that? That will put you on a faster track to getting a green card instead of a traditional EB2 or EB3, where you will be tied to your employer and tied to this immigration space. Then you will have to go through the H1B transfers and stampings whenever you want to go to India, whenever you want to go to out of country, and then come back in. So those are the complications that you will have to continue to deal with for a very long time. What are the alternatives? Alternatives are Canada. Canada just announced that it is expanding their open work permits to the spouses. There was a restriction on open work permits in Canada, but now they are expanding that category. So that is a very good news, and they are also have hugely aggressive estimates for PRs given out in the next couple of years. So Canada might be an attractive destination for you. I don't know the exact situation in Australia, New Zealand and UK, but I'm pretty sure it's not as painful as the immigration situation in India. So know this fact about the US immigration when you are in India before making a decision to come here for studies. Know your pathway, how you are going to tackle your permanent residency in the United States, because that will make your life much easier in the long run. Now, unless there are changes in the law like additional visa numbers or removal of per country cap or removal of spouses and children from the numerical caps, numerical limits, it's not going to change. The situation is not going to change in the backlog situation. So unless there are any substantial immigration reforms in the employment based category, this backlog situation is not going to be cleared away. You know, when was the last major comprehensive immigration reform done? It was almost 30 years back in the Ronald Reagan era in the 80s. So that was a long time back. These bills are brought to the Congress every year, but they go nowhere. And now in the upcoming Congress, which starts tomorrow, it's going to be a divided Congress. So any immigration bills will really have very hard time to pass in the Senate and the House at the same time and then go to the president's desk. Some people talk about a situation in 2008 when President Bush had made all the dates current for all the categories for a short duration. That was back in 2008. That was a miracle. A lot of people benefited from that situation. Well, if that happens again, that will be a boon for a lot of people. But that is just a wishful thinking. Now, another topic I wanted to cover was US consulates have made it easier to restamp the visa. So for students or non-immigrant visa holders who had a previous stamp on their passport, now don't have to go to the interviews. They can just go through the Dropbox appointment, give their documents, and they can get their visas without an interview. So this has been extended until the end of 2023. So that is a good news for a lot of people. Now, before leaving, in the new year, I just wanted to quickly talk about stocks because I made investment related videos in the last couple of weeks, and I just wanted to kind of give you a caution tale about investing in stock at this point of time. The markets have taken a nosedive and it's not looking very pretty in the next couple of months at least. My advice in the near term would be do not buy anything if you are just a long-term stock buyer. If you are a day trader, it might be an opportunity for you to buy in the downturn as well, in the bear market. But if you are a long-term investor, I would hold on. I would not buy anything for the next couple of weeks. I have actually paused my dollar cost averaging plans for the moment because I don't want to buy anything at high because I know a lot of these stocks are going to nosedive a little bit longer. S&P 500 could go as low as 3400 or 3300 in my opinion, and a lot of those tech stocks are going to take a little bit of a hit even further. So don't buy anything at this moment, just wait for a few more months. And another tip I wanted to give you is don't sell anything at this point of time because you have already taken a lot of losses in your long-term holding, and selling the stock at this point of time is going to put you in a situation where you have no chance of recovery. So my proposition, what I am going to do is, with my long-term portfolio, I'm just going to hold on to it, knowing that it's still going to go down. I'm not going to panic. I trust in the companies that I have invested in. I know their portfolio, I know their plan for the future. I'm just going to hold on to it. So don't buy anything and don't sell anything right now would be my advice. Again, I'm not a financial advisor, but this is the least I can tell you just from my personal experience. Now, back in November, I shared some investment strategies to protect your savings. And while stocks and index funds have traditionally relied upon investments, considering the current state of the economy and equities, it might be a good idea to consider options outside of the stock market. There are still alternative assets out there. Real estate, commodities that have low correlation to traditional markets. Now, traditionally, gold and oil were the leading commodities, but there are assets that also have quietly provided insulation during economic downturns. And not just stores of wealth, assets with growth potential, like contemporary art. According to the Masterworks All Art Index, the last time inflation was near its current levels, art prices appreciated at an annual average of 17.5% per year. You might be wondering, why hasn't everyone flocked to this market? It's simple: accessibility. I mean, who has 10 million to splurge on museum grade work of art, right? So thanks to today's sponsor, Masterworks. Investors all over the world can enter the market for a fraction of the cost. This isn't an NFT, it's not cryptocurrency, it's art from legendary names like Picasso, Banksy and Monet. In 7 out of their 10 exits, Masterworks has delivered net return over 17% to their investors. In fact, their last 3 fetches 17.8%, 21.5% and 33.1%. Nearly 600,000 people have signed up, but my subscribers can get priority access at the link in the description. So check out the link in the description for Masterworks and get the priority access through Wisdom Trends link. Now let's continue with our topic. And by the way, I'm making a video on top 5 stock picks for me in the year 2023. I'm working on that, and that will be one of the topics in my next upcoming videos. So stay tuned to my channel. If you like the content of this video, do hit the like button and consider subscribing to my channel, and I'll see you in the next one.